On today's Apple Daily, AirPods Studio's leaks, Apple accuses Epic of Lawsuit Publicity stunt, and which Apple Watch is right for you.
This is the Apple Daily.
I'm David for Living on iPad, and I simplify Apple so that everything just works for you. If you want the latest Apple news, leaks and rumours every weekday at 12 UTC, like this video, click the subscribe button and join my notification squad by ringing the bell. Shoutouts will come at the end of the video for new members. AirPods Studio's leaks. Premier Apple leaker Jon Prosser, who has redeemed himself completely after the whole getting the press release mixed up with the product release, has had pictures for a while of the AirPods Studios since late August at least, and has shown renders of these AirPods that are based on the images that he has. Now, he wasn't planning on putting them out just yet. The renders weren't quite finished, but unfortunately someone leaked his leaks to some other leakers who leaked them. Yeah, I feel drunk just reading this. So Jon basically took the renders that he'd got so far and put them out just to kind of say, look, we were already working on this is what we'd got. But he's really pretty annoyed because the reason that he makes these renders from the images that he gets is so that the images can't be traced back to whatever the source of his leak is. So he's always trying to protect the sources so that they don't risk their safety, job, reputation, etc. And obviously somebody has decided to go above his head. I'm not going to go into huge details on these leaks, apart from to say they look really quite cool, quite retro. There's a little tiny thing on the screen now, but if you want to know all about them, Jon has put out a front page tech episode, which I will link to right up here. Go watch his video, he deserves it. He's the one that's put all the work in. Apple accuses Epic of a lawsuit publicity stunt because people were bored of Fortnite. In the latest developments between Apple and Epic in their Epic lawsuit, which I have dubbed Epic Fail, hashtag Epic Fail, Apple has filed their opposition, 37 pages of lawsuit opposition, and it is claiming that Epic started a fire and poured gasoline on it and is now asking for help to put that fire out. That kind of is in line with what the judge said at the initial hearing about whether they had to put Fortnite back into the App Store, where she basically said, well, at the end of the day, you kind of started this, your hands are not clean. If you wanted it to go back into the App Store, all you need to do is take out that link. But Apple is basically claiming that Fortnite's popularity has fallen 70% between October 2019 and July of 2020, and as a result of that, Epic is really just trying to get some attention to their game, which it doesn't seem like that's really worked because about 40% of players of Fortnite played on iOS. We don't know if they've moved over to the other platforms, if they've moved onto Xbox or PlayStation or whatever, but they're not playing on iOS anymore because they can't really. Apple argues that the entire lawsuit has just been kind of created to reinvigorate some interest in the game, which is fair enough, I think. Shots fired by Tim Apple, he is not playing games. And finally, which Apple Watch is right for you? In yesterday's episode, we talked about which iPad is best for you, the 8th gen or the iPad Air that were released yesterday. If you can find one, a 2018 iPad Pro 11-inch is very similar to the iPad Air. You can get it straight away. It has the ProMotion display, so you've got 120 Hz. It's also got Face ID built in, which is much better, and I think it comes with more storage as default. Don't quote me on that, but you can definitely get it with bigger storage options. But that might be an option for some people if you don't want to wait for the Apple iPad Air 4 and you're not too worried about the cool new colours. But as I say, on today's show we are talking Apple Watch. There were 2 new Apple Watches released yesterday, which I think we actually basically nailed it. The only thing that we got wrong really was that we thought the name might be changing to Apple Watch and Apple Watch Pro, which I still maintain would be better than Series 6 and SE, which is what we've got. But let's talk about Apple Watch Series 6. Apple Watch Series 6 builds on the design of the Series 4 and Series 5 with the 40 and 44mm sizes. It has got that larger display, it's got the rounded edges to it, it has the always-on display. The always-on display is now 2.5 times brighter than it was in the Series 5. It's got an S6 chip inside, which isn't a great deal faster, but it is more energy efficient. And in addition to that, they've also re-engineered some of the workouts so that they are less draining on the battery, like outdoor run, indoor run, walks, all that kind of thing. In terms of new features, watchOS 7 includes things like the hand washing. That will apply to any of the Apple Watches that are compatible with watchOS 7, so I think that is Series 3 upwards. The Apple Watch Series 6 specifically, however, is adding the pulse oximeter functionality, so you've now got an array of even more LEDs on the back side of the watch, with red and infrared LEDs, as well as the pulse detecting LEDs that we already had. And this will essentially shine some infrared light into your skin, bounce it off your blood vessels, and measure the colour of your blood, because blood becomes much brighter red when it's oxidised than it does when it is lower oxygen. Speaking of red, Apple Watch Series 6 comes in product red and also a cool blue colour, as well as some updates to other colours throughout the range. So they've got a stainless steel with gold and a graphite stainless steel as well, which looks pretty cool. Editions have pretty much been removed. There is still a titanium edition, but the ceramic is gone. It's out of there. The Series 6 also still has that ECG, but one of the big changes that has happened is the pulse oximeter function is not being qualified as a medical device. It's purely for wellness purposes, which means that it will be able to roll out to a lot more places immediately. The pulse oximeter is going out to 100 countries, I believe, immediately, whereas the ECG is still limited to like a handful of countries because they were trying to qualify it as a medical device. Other than that, watchOS 7 has added a bunch of new features, like a lot of new faces and complications, the ability to actually share faces that you've created yourself, or as a company, you can create a face for your company that you can put on your website and people can download it. You can also share your faces on social media. So if you've created a really cool combination of complications, you can share that with your friends or enemies. Also, Fitness Plus, which is part of Apple's services package, which we will be touching on a lot more tomorrow. You do get a 3-month free trial with a brand new watch, regardless of which one you buy at the moment. So that is a pretty fun offer. That's going to be $10 a month once it launches fully. That is the one that you want to go for if you need the very best of the best, if you are really worried about those health functions, the kind of medical functions, the pulse oximeter and the ECG function. If you are on a little bit more of a budget, but you still want to have the cool current design, you can go for the Apple Watch SE, which is brand new to the range. It uses the same physical size and physical display size, so you are looking at $279. And these use the same chip as last year's flagship, so this is the S5 chip inside. They have taken away the pulse oximeter, they've taken away the ECG, and they've taken away the always-on display. Other than that, it is basically the same watch, other than the slightly slower processor. They're available to pre-order now. You can pick them up in person or have them delivered to you on Friday. There is obviously the usual cellular options, and you've got the 2 sizes. And in terms of colours, you've got space grey, gold and silver, all aluminium in the SE edition. It's not an edition though. The one other change is that watches no longer come with a USB charge brick in the box. You still get your cable with the magnetic disc charger, you still get a strap, but you do not get the USB brick charger, because Apple kind of figures that everyone's got one at this point, and if you haven't, you can get one for a couple of dollars at the local garage, or you can order them online at eBay or Amazon. If you want a nicer one, you can get a faster charger. And finally, rounding out the range, there is still the option of getting the Apple Watch Series 3. It looks like they've deleted the cellular option on these now, so you can only get a Wi-Fi GPS version. Everything is water resistant to 50 meters now, which is pretty cool. But yeah, that is your range of Apple Watches. So if you want the latest and greatest and you want one of those cool new colours, the blue or the red, or you want the stainless steel options or the titanium, you need to go for the Apple Watch Series 6. If you're not as worried about the always-on display and the high-end medical functions, then you can go for the SE. That will work absolutely fine for you. And if you really need a budget option, or starting at $199, you can get yourself an Apple Watch Series 3. Pretty cool, pretty good pricing. Little bit weird that they've kept the Series 3 in there because it is very old now, but still works. You want to stay in the Apple ecosystem, that's not a bad choice. And speaking of good choices, why not join our notification squad? All you need to do subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, and I will give you a shout out at the end of the next video. That's it for me today. Tomorrow we will be talking about the Apple services as well as any news stuff that comes up, because today there was news, so I thought I would cover that as well as talking about Apple Watches. See you on the next one, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I've been David for Living on iPad.